Hi everyone, Krystina here. Today we're going to talk about hiking your first 14er, those 14,000 foot mountains that you find all over Colorado. Whether you are a beginner or a seasoned hiker, this video will help you prepare physically, mentally, and environmentally for your first hike up these big mountains. When it comes to physical preparation, leg strength is probably one of the most important for handling those steep inclines and descents. It's also super important to strengthen your core and your lower back to help you balance on uneven terrain and displace any force from falls or weird jumps that inevitably happen on hikes. If you aren't already, I would highly suggest adding joint strength and mobility to your current programming. If you're thinking of getting into hiking 14ers, what better hike to start on than Mount Bierstadt? And this video is going to go over everything you need to know for hiking your first 14er. I'm Krystina, I'm from Getaway, I'm here with Chris. Let's get started. Official start time is 10:36. How you feeling? When it comes to conditioning, I would highly suggest starting on shorter hikes at elevation and then slowly increasing distance and elevation over time. Cardiovascular endurance is paramount for higher altitudes, so I would highly suggest adding running, climbing, or cycling into your day-to-day gym routine. Second to cardiovascular endurance would be mobility, and I highly suggest adding a mobility routine that targets your ankles, your hips, and your T-spine, which is your thoracic spine, and basically it's just the upper portion of your back, especially for those of you who work long hours sitting at a desk. Increasing mobility in these regions will help make sure that force is being transmitted to the right areas and away from things like your knees, your low back, and your neck. For those of you coming from lower elevation, please respect the altitude and be aware of altitude sickness. Symptoms can include headaches, nausea, and dizziness, and the best way to mitigate this is by drinking lots of water before the hike and during the hike, as well as eating quick digesting carbs like sugars. You saw me had cranberries there, we had chocolates. This will help move glycogen to your muscles to help power you up the mountain. And when I say you, I mean you and a friend, because you always want to hike with a buddy and use the buddy system when hiking. Chris and I run a group that hikes almost every single weekend, where we share tips, we share gear as needed, and also help with ride rentals as needed. Not only will this help you be safe on the mountain, but it follows the comeback mindset, which is the philosophy of starting a hike with the intention to always return home. There's no room for ego on big hikes. The mountain will always be there. Your priority is your safety. Environmental awareness follows leave no trace principles, which includes packing out all of your trash, because there are no trash bags on any of these big hikes, most likely, and making sure you stay on the marked trails to avoid damaging any vegetation. If you are planning to camp after your hike, be sure to put out your bonfire completely, as in you can touch the coals and they are no longer hot. Colorado is very dry, and you want to try and avoid starting any unnecessary wildfires. They're extremely destructive, and we always want to try and preserve the natural beauty for others to enjoy, like our little friends here who are looking for a handout. Do not give them one. Mount Bierstadt. How tall is it?
14,000 something feet. The views are all...
What did you rate the second time up?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. We made good pace. Right?
Yeah, we did.
Training for one of these big mountains can be intimidating, and that is part of why we have started these group hikes that we do every week. We'll choose a new 14er. If you'd like to join in on one of our group hikes, feel free to check out the link in the description. That'll take you to our group chat. And if you need any help training for a 14er, whether it's joint mobility, whether it's strength, whether it's conditioning, please feel free to reach out to myself or Chris. We were personal trainers for a long time, and we'd love to support you in your journey of getting up your first 14er.
So just got off of Tori's, did Gray's earlier, and that was not as bad as I thought it'd be. Coming up, got winded a little bit, and the wind was annoying, but just taking smaller steps, using some of that Wim Hof breathing, it was easier than I thought it'd be. And then I've done more intense hikes on smaller peaks, but this was very doable. Great time.